Welcome to the final and perhaps most crucial installment of our series on why NewJeans is hated. We've dissected the baseless accusations of talent and concept flaws, navigated the corporate power struggle with Hype, and even seen how their sheer success somehow ignited public fury. But now, it's time to confront the uncomfortable truth, a subtle, toxic undercurrent often overlooked, the element of sexism. The fifth, and arguably most profound, sign that the NewJeans hate is less about objective critique and more about a deep-seated discomfort with change is its relentless persistence, even in the face of overwhelming success and a clear paradigm shift in the K-pop landscape. This isn't just criticism. It's a desperate, almost pathological resistance to a new reality, a refusal to acknowledge that the rules of the game have fundamentally shifted. This continuous backlash, despite NewJeans' undeniable impact and growing global appeal, reveals a fear of the future, a stubborn adherence to outdated notions of what K-pop should be, and a subtle yet pervasive undercurrent of sexism directed at female leadership and innovation. Consider the sheer tenacity of the negative narratives. Despite topping charts globally, selling millions of albums, securing lucrative brand deals, and consistently delivering critically acclaimed music, the hate persists with an almost supernatural endurance. If the initial criticisms were truly about talent or concept, wouldn't the undeniable evidence of their success and the evolution of their artistry quiet the detractors? Yet, it only seems to fuel a new wave of fabricated grievances. This suggests that the initial critiques were never the real issue. They were merely convenient talking points, a smokescreen for a deeper, more uncomfortable truth. NewJeans represents a shift that many are unwilling or unable to accept. This resistance is often born from a fear of obsolescence. For years, the K-pop industry thrived on a particular formula: intense training, elaborate concepts, synchronized power choreographies, and a distinct boundary between idol and fan. NewJeans, under MHDHH's visionary guidance, disrupted this formula. They introduced a more naturalistic, less overtly performative style, emphasizing the music's vibe and the members' inherent charm. They blurred the lines between idol and everyday girl, creating a relatable, almost accessible fantasy for those who had invested heavily, emotionally, financially, creatively, in the old ways. This disruption was a direct threat. If NewJeans could succeed so massively by breaking the rules, what did that say about everyone else who meticulously followed them? The hate then becomes a defensive mechanism, an attempt to delegitimize the new wave, to prove that their comfortable, familiar world is still the only valid one. Furthermore, there's an undeniable undercurrent of sexism in much of the sustained hate, particularly directed at MHDHH. Her strong personality, her unapologetic artistic vision, and her fierce defense of her work are often labeled as crazy, emotional, or difficult. Labels rarely, if ever, applied with such ferocity to male executives or producers in similar situations. A male visionary fighting for creative control might be lauded as a genius or a maverick. A woman doing the same is often branded as irrational or power-hungry. This double standard is glaring. The vitriol she receives, and by extension, the manufactured criticisms lobbed at NewJeans, stem not just from a discomfort with artistic change, but with a powerful, independent woman daring to challenge the male-dominated structures of the industry. Her audacity to speak her mind, to confront perceived injustices publicly, directly challenge the submissive role often expected of women in such high-stakes environments. This, more than any alleged concept issue or talent deficit, ignites a deep-seated anger among those who prefer women to remain in their designated, quieter places. The ongoing NewJeans hate, therefore, serves as a stark reminder of the challenges faced by true innovators. It's the sound of the old guard resisting the inevitable tide of change. It's the discomfort of those whose rigid definitions of talent, beauty, and success are being shattered. And it's the thinly veiled misogyny that often rears its head when a woman-led artistic vision dares to triumph on its own unconventional terms. The persistent nature of this hate isn't a flaw in NewJeans or minji. It's a glaring symptom of an industry in transition and a segment of its audience desperately clinging to the past. But like any form of progress, it marches on, leaving the noise of the detractors to echo in an increasingly empty chamber, while NewJeans continues to ascend, carried by the very authenticity and innovation that others so desperately try to suppress. This persistent hate, then, isn't about their flaws. It's a glaring symptom of an industry in transition and a segment of its audience desperately clinging to the past. It's the sound of the old guard resisting change, and the discomfort of those whose rigid definitions of talent and power are being shattered. But like any form of progress, it marches on, leaving the noise of the detractors to echo in an increasingly empty chamber, while NewJeans continues to ascend, carried by the very authenticity and innovation that others so desperately try to suppress. Thank you for joining us on this journey of truth.